off-center ropes. Okay, so you often have to just undo that knot and redo it, which yeah, I mean, sometimes if you get the knot against something hard, a piece of wood, and hit it with a hammer, it'll loosen it up. You can try and pry it apart with a screwdriver. Don't use a fid. If you use a fid, you'll bend it. Another thing you can do sometimes, depending on how they've done the splice, sometimes you can just unpick the splice and redo it, and very often it can be that the tie-off rope has been put on badly. You can actually pull it to this side quite often just by tightening the clove hitch up here, but that's only a temporary thing. So I've slackened the clove hitch off, so you might have noticed in the previous shot this rope was tight and that one was slack. Now they're both slack. Let's see as if that's fixed it. No, I didn't think it would. The reason I didn't think it would is those knots there. When you're changing a rope, don't put knots there. It makes the rope harder to adjust, and as if you ever have to change the runners, change the runner plastic, it just makes everything much harder. Normally the ropes are attached to the stanchions at the back, or the handlebars even, one or the other, but that's where it's supposed to pull from. It's not supposed to pull from the bolt at the front. This just makes life difficult. So what I'm going to attempt to do is I'm going to attempt to pull a little bit of the rope through this knot. So I'm going to slacken the knot off and try and pull the rope through, which is going to involve untightening that knot. The knot's been pulled by a lot of huskies, and we've had a lot of weight in the sleigh, and it's going to be hard work, but I'll get there eventually. Obviously using a hammer against something hard, I can't really do that here, so I'm just going to try with my fingers and with a screwdriver. I'm sure I'll get there in the end, but this is going to take some perseverance. I've loosened the knot. That still didn't give me enough rope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and unpick this splice a little. That'll give me a little bit more rope that I can pull through. There we go. I think that'll do. So why did I go for adjusting the sides rather than the knot at the front? Well, for a start, this is going to be really super tight. For another thing, this way I can do it little by little. It's actually quite hard to get these knots centralised. The best way is to well, we do an overhand loop. So yeah, as if you work out first which way you're going to end up shortening. If you aim for the middle, you always go slightly offside. So when you're doing the knots, just think about it a little bit. And yeah, if you re-rope a sleigh, make sure the knot's central, because it's a lot easier to readjust it before it's had sled dogs pulling on the line.